Introducing PMS Module Manager Perspective by Pocket HRMS. Pocket HRMS makes performance management simple and effective through a highly customizable goal setting and easy feedback system. So, let us explore the Pocket HRMS PMS module from the manager's perspective. To configure the PMS, the administrator needs to log into the cloud portal. We need to click on the Settings menu and select the Appraisal V2 tab, which consists of multiple sub-tabs as seen here. Let us configure the appraisal process by selecting the Appraisal Configuration sub-tab. We are selecting the plus icon on the left side of the page to create a new configuration. In the pop-up, we select the business unit, set the start and end dates, select the default financial year, and enter the completed month, which is the number of months the employee has completed to be eligible for the appraisal. Next, we select the appraisal flow, which decides if we require only the manager's rating or if a more comprehensive process is required. We are also selecting whether the rating will be based on weightage or scale from the corresponding drop-down menu. If we set it as scale, we can observe that the rating range can be set from here. Similarly, we can also have different parameters and questions for managers and peers, which contributes towards improving the overall flexibility of the system. If it is set to be different, we can configure separate questions and parameters for peers or managers, which improves the granularity of the answers. Similarly, by clicking on the Scale button, we can enter the value for each rating on the scale, as we are entering here. Once we enter the values according to our company's grading matrix, we can click on the Submit button to save the values. Next, we have the Final Rating option, which decides how the final rating is calculated. We can also set the Parallel Review option, which, if set to true, different managers will receive the appraisal form at the same time. If it is set to false, the first manager will have to fill out the form first, and then, the second manager will be notified of the form. We also have peer expiry days, which sets the number of days for the expiry of the peer form. The next setting is Dynamic Flow, which decides whether the employees can set their own goals for a truly dynamic appraisal process. We can also select the eligibility for appraisal as well as whether NA ratings are applicable for the appraisal process. Once all the settings are configured, we click on the Save button to save the configuration. Next, we have to set up the appraisal process, which can be done by selecting the Appraisal Process sub-tab. Here, we have 90, 180, and 360-degree feedback options. For this video, we are selecting the 180-degree feedback process. We are clicking on the Save Setting button to save the setting. Now, we need to select the manager for the appraisal of an employee. We can do that by searching for the employee in the cloud portal, opening their profile, and selecting the Approval Matrix tab. Here, we click on the plus icon on the right side of the page, enter the manager name, select the priority, choose the Appraisal Ultimate option and click on the Save button to choose the manager. As we have observed, we have set Sakshi as the appraisal manager for Sandeep here. Next, we are setting the grading matrix, which sets the values to be shared with the employee based on the percentage they receive. To set this, we need to select the Settings menu and choose the Grading Matrix sub-tab within the Appraisal V2 tab. We are clicking on the plus icon, and entering the required details, such as grading from and to, the status, details and the percentage. We click on the Save button to save the settings. For example, here we are setting that if the employee is getting anywhere between 1 and 20%, then their status will be displayed as poor performance. Under the Details option, they will be able to view poor performance, and the percentage will be shown as 20. We can see that once the setting is saved, we can view the saved settings by clicking on the View button. Similarly, let us complete the grading matrix by entering the settings for all the values. Next, we set the appraisal parameters, and so, we select the Appraisal Parameter sub-tab. However, if you wish to import these parameters in bulk, we have the Appraisal Parameter Import and Appraisal Question Import options, using which you can upload your data in bulk. To enter the details manually, we need to select the stage, which can be configured within the Appraisal Stages sub-tab. Inside this sub-tab, we need to click on the plus icon, enter the stage name, the start and end dates, the order number, and whether the stage is active or not, and click on the Save button to save the settings. The stages define whether you are setting your appraisal to be monthly, quarterly or annually. For example, we have set this stage to be monthly for this video. Similarly, only one stage can remain active at a time. So, we are creating multiple stages, such as monthly appraisal 2 to have 2 appraisal stages. Moving back to the appraisal parameter settings, we are selecting the active stage, which is monthly. We are setting the parameter type to be performance, and referring to the spreadsheet to select the sub-parameter to be KPI testing. We are entering the maximum marks to be 50 and the order number to be 1. We are saving the parameter by clicking on the Add Parameter button. Similarly, we are adding personality development skills with order number 2. Since we have entered 2 parameters, we are clicking on the Save button to save the parameters. Moving on to the questions configuration, we need to select the Appraisal Questions sub-tab. On this page, we select the stage, parameter type, and sub-parameter type. We are entering the weightage, question, answer type, and employee goals, and clicking on the Add Question button to add it. We can repeat the process to cover all the required questions. Once we are satisfied with the questions, we can click on the Save button to save the appraisal questions. The next step is to set up the appraisal stage settings. So, we will select the Appraisal Stage Settings sub-tab. Inside, we select the stage first for which the settings are being configured. Once it is selected, we can click on the Add button against Employee, Manager, KPI, and Admin to set up the required fields. Let us begin by clicking on the Add button against an employee. In the pop-up, we need to enter the required details and select the behavior of the stage, such as whether it is mandatory, or whether it should be included in the PDF report, and more. We are adding the field to enter comments and upload files for the employee. Once you have entered the details, click on the Save button to save the field details. Similarly, we are entering the Employee Achievement field for the employee. Note that we have set the level to stage since we want this field to be visible stage-wise. Next, we are adding the field for the manager, for different kinds of information such as mid-year review. Once we have created the required fields, we can scroll down to access other settings related to the stage such as whether the weightages should be displayed, whether employee goals are displayed, and more. Once we have changed all the required settings, we can click on the Save button at the bottom of the screen to save the appraisal stage settings. Let us switch over to the ESS portal to understand the employee performance review process. Click on the PMS menu, select the Request option, and choose the Performance Review tab. Once our company enables the review, we will be able to view the appraisal and select the Submit Rating button to submit our rating. Here, we can view the KPIs, goals, maximum weightage, employee and manager ratings, along with the employee and manager comments for the monthly appraisal review. As an employee, we are rating ourselves, based on the grading matrix, which can be viewed by clicking on the icon near the rating scale. Similarly, on scrolling down, we have the different rating heads for both the manager and the employee. Here, we are rating ourselves and entering the comments. We can also see that we have the option to upload any supporting documents as well as save them as a draft. We are also entering the rating for personal development skills now. Once we have entered all the details, we click on the Submit button at the top to save the ratings. Switching over to the Manager's portal, we need to click on the Notifications icon and click on the Employee Rating Submitted notification. We can also navigate to this page by clicking on the PMS menu, selecting the Request option, and choosing the Employee Appraisal tab. Here, we click on the Rating button and view all the details entered by the employee against their appraisal. We can also enter our ratings for the employee and enter the comments for the rating. We are entering the same for the Personal Development Skills rating too. Scrolling down, we are entering the Manager Mid-Year Review, and clicking on the Submit button at the top to save the rating. Once we have submitted the appraisal, we can also view the report for the same. To view the report, we need to click on the PMS menu. By clicking on the My Report menu, we can view our own ratings, while the My Team Report option helps us view our team's ratings, and the Employee Report option helps us view all employees' ratings. The last option will be visible only to the administrator account. We are selecting the My Team Report option and clicking on the Appraisal Report tab to view the details. Here, we are clicking on the View button to view the appraisal details, as seen here. We can also view the percentage of the marks scored in this report. If we wish to download the report, we have the option to download it in either Excel or PDF format, by selecting it and clicking on the Download button. We are downloading this report in Excel format, and here is how the report looks like for the administrator. Let us view the summary report for the manager. We are entering the Manager's portal and clicking on the PMS menu, selecting the My Team Report option, and choosing the Appraisal Report tab. Since we are the manager, we can download the summary report by choosing that option from the drop-down menu, selecting the format and clicking on the corresponding Download button. Here we have the summary report, which provides only an overview of the appraisals. Similarly, we can also download the new detailed report by selecting the same from the drop-down menu, selecting the format and clicking on the corresponding Download button. This report will provide you with in-depth information regarding the appraisals, such as the marks scored against individual KPIs, average marks, etc. Similarly, We can also download these reports in PDF format, and the reports look like this. The PDF report is more user-friendly and you can share it with external stakeholders if required. Another useful feature of Pocket HRMS is the normalization option, which provides you with the bell curve to identify the performance distribution in a company. To view the bell curve, we need to open the Cloud Portal, select the Settings menu, the Appraisal V2 tab, and the Rating Normalization sub-tab. On this page, we select the appraisal period, the category of employees, the appraisal stage name, and the system generates the data in a tabular format. We can change the calibration values for the employees if required, to ensure accurate results. Finally, to view the bell curve distribution, we need to select all the employees, and then click on the View button. We can see the bell curve generated below the table. We can see that the blue line represents the expected performance and the green line represents the actual performance of the employees in your organization. We can also hover over the graph to view the values. We also have the Year-End Transfer sub-tab, which provides the option to transfer the appraisal settings from this year to the next, providing you with a simplified appraisal process. So, that was the complete walkthrough of the performance management module of Pocket HRMS. It allows the HRs to streamline the performance management process by simplifying the performance appraisals and providing easy access to company-wide reports.